The juice is loose. Welcome in. This is Dumb Guy Loves Movies, and my name is Mike Bassano, and I'm a dumb guy who loves movies. I saw Beetlejuice last night at in Hollywood at the Chinese Theater, the sequel to the 1988 film Beetlejuice. And, if you watch this show, you know that I don't normally review movies that I don't like. And this episode is exactly like that. So, I love Beetlejuice. Let's talk about it. Tim Burton comes back after the 1988 classic to release a 2024 sequel that I think was funnier than the first one. The first one had a lot of intrigue because we didn't know who Beetlejuice was, and Michael Keaton was incredible. But I'll tell you this, and this might shock you. Michael Keaton's funnier now. His comedic timing is better than it was in 1988. A lot of people get less funny with age. We see it all the time. Comedians, actors, they just get less funny as time goes on. Life gets harder, you get more experience, and it's tough to find the humor in things sometimes. That's just part of it, right? No matter who you are. Michael Keaton has found a way to beat that because his comedic timing, his understanding of the comedy in the movie seemed, for me at least, even better in Beetlejuice than in the original Beetlejuice. So I loved it. Tim Burton knocks it out of the park. They had a lot of nice callbacks to the first one, but there is one character who steals the movie. Tell you who that is in just a bit, but let's dive in. Tim Burton directs this movie. He directed the original. A madman. A wonderful madman by every definition that everyone loves. And why wouldn't they? Tim Burton brings us a world of imagination. There are so many great directors that bring us into the real world and we see the things and they shoot it really well, and that's amazing. Tim Burton is one of the few mainstream, huge-time directors that takes us to a different planet. We're not on Earth anymore. We're in a mystical world. And Beetlejuice is exactly that. It's like a mystical world within the real world, right? Because there's this haunted house. You go into the attic. You have the little village. There's ghosts. There's so many different levels to this. And I thought it was done in such a nice way that people could appreciate the artistry and also follow it, which is difficult to do. And Tim Burton does that masterfully with a cast that was hysterical. I mean, just let's run through it. Let's start with Michael Keaton and the juice. Beetlejuice, and I think one of the smartest things they did in this movie was something they did in the first movie. Beetlejuice didn't get a lot of screen time in the first movie. 17 minutes out of, I think, an hour and 39 minutes that movie was. 17 minutes of screen time was Beetlejuice. And that's smart because Beetlejuice is such a huge character. Like, if Beetlejuice is in a scene, it's his scene. That's it. You can't really overpower him. He overpowers everyone. So they kept his screen time limited again, probably right around the 17-minute mark again, maybe 18 or 19. But for the most part, Michael Keaton is used sparingly at the right moments. And I think that was the perfect way to play it. Keaton and Burton both got together, made sure that that was part of the plan when they were going into this thing. And I think that was paid off in massive dividends for us as an audience. Winona Ryder playing Lydia. Winona Ryder has had such a nice renaissance, hasn't she? I mean, it kind of started with Stranger Things, and now she's branched off into other things, and she is just phenomenal. I think she's doing her best acting we've ever seen. I loved her in this movie, and she plays Lydia so well. Someone who has their life together, but somehow doesn't at the same time. You know what I mean? It's a cool character because she's playing this person who's consistently triggered, yet she has her life together. It's really well done by Winona Ryder. I love watching her do what she does, and there are multiple scenes. I don't want to give away a lot, but there are multiple scenes where you see her as a mother that, in contrast to the first movie where she's the kid, or the teenager rather, it opens up an entirely different performance that makes it really enjoyable. Now, Catherine O'Hara, Delia. Catherine O'Hara is the fucking best. Like, she's so awesome. Ever since I was a child and I saw Home Alone. Yeah, Catherine O'Hara is amazing. Schitt's Creek. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Catherine O'Hara in Beetlejuice brings that perfect light. You know what I mean? That light, kind of the crazy old, light that you need because it keeps levity in certain situations. She brings this life to it, which ironically life, not to give anything away, but she brings this life to it that is so fun to watch. Anything Catherine O'Hara is in, always give it a chance. Always. Because even if the whole thing isn't good, Catherine O'Hara will be good. And nicely, this was a great movie with great actors who gave great performances. And that's awesome. But we will get to who stole it in just a minute. Who stole the movie. Willem Dafoe as Wolf Jackson, my favorite addition. Almost stole the movie. Almost. If it weren't for one other character, Willem Dafoe would have stole this movie. He plays an actor who portrayed a detective that now in the afterlife is a detective. He's very intense. Willem Dafoe. Intense Willem Dafoe, like over the top intense, so it's comedic, is the best. He even does a scene, Willem Dafoe does, where he's like acting, and you can tell he's acting. That's how good Willem Dafoe is. Like, he can do bad acting for the sake of a scene and then just snap back into, oh, no, that was just me acting. Like, that is brilliant. And his character, the way they put him with the aesthetic and everything, which is one of my favorite parts of this movie. As great as Willem Dafoe is, great as all the performances are, Tim Burton's decision to go with mostly real effects that were made, not CGI, not computer. There were some of that, but a lot of that stuff, it was like a bit of a throwback, but it made it more interesting to watch. I'm sorry if I'm one of those moviegoers that thinks an overload of CGI is more annoying than the payoff would think. Like, I don't know, studios became obsessed with CGI, with their CGI artists, and Doctor Strange, the big climax is him walking forward. There's just a lot of problems with CGI when it comes to the artistry of film. Look, I understand why it's done. I understand you have to change with the times. I don't want to change with the times. I like the effects in the movie to be things that were actually made. Special effects created by someone who was with their hands and not with a computer. That's just who I am. Maybe that means the world has passed me by. You know what? I really wouldn't be shocked if it has. But I loved the way Beetlejuice did that. And the effects they used on Willem Dafoe, fantastic. And now we have Justin Theroux, who played every LA guy I know, dude. He plays Rory, and Rory is the quintessential Los Angeles guy, full of shit, and just so emotionally there for you, and really wanting to help you process your trauma and make sure that you have a shoulder to cry on. That way, when you come over, I'm totally not trying to have sex with you. When you come over, we can heal. We can heal each other. Yeah, that fucking guy. Every LA douchebag ever, Rory. Justin Theroux nails that part. It is, you know why? Because I hated it. I hated the guy. I was just like, God, I can't stand this guy. I just want to throw him off a bridge. That's exactly what we're going for. Justin Theroux nailed Rory in Beetlejuice. Oh my God, the little ponytail. I just wanted, it was like a ponytail man bun. God dang it, it was so frustratingly upsetting on every level. But that's the brilliance of having a villain like that. You know what I mean? You want a villain because who's going to be the villain? Beetlejuice? No, we love Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton's too likable. We can't. What? No, you need a guy in there who's just a giant, unapologetic douche. Justin Theroux, very well done. That was awesome, man. That was great. Now on to the two young ones. Astrid and Jeremy, played by Jenna Ortega, who is the new Scream Queen of the world. Mia Goth also right there. But Jenna Ortega is a blossoming superstar, without question. Wednesday Exploded really put her above and beyond, but she's been in so many things. Started in horror in 2020. She is an absolute beast by every definition. And I think her addition as this like moody, mom sucks, man, and then the transition and arc for her character was one of the more enjoyable parts of the entire movie. She was incredible. Jenna Ortega, in everything she does, is so entertaining to watch, so fun, such a great addition to any cast, let alone a cast like this. Because a cast like this is filled with stars, right? I mean, just go through the list. Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Willem Dafoe. I mean, Justin Theroux. Throw him in. I mean, just a ton of stars. And then you add in Jenna Ortega, who, though she's younger than these people and not as accomplished as the others that I just named, she's right there with them. You know, with her and Winona Ryder sitting next to each other, her and Catherine O'Hara dancing together, you don't think, oh, this is someone who feels like they shouldn't. No, she feels like she very much belongs and like she was perfectly cast in this role. And frankly, I don't know who chooses Jenna's projects. It might be her who chooses her projects, but they're choosing very well. Because every time I see her in a role, I think, my God, she's perfect for this role. Maybe she's just that good. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, the horror genre suits her look and her energy phenomenally. And it also suits Arthur Conti, who played Jeremy, who I had never seen before. I guess I looked him up. He did maybe one episode of House of Dragon on HBO. But other than that, I don't think anyone has seen much of Arthur Conti. Unless there's just something I'm missing. Maybe he's like an influencer or something and I just don't know about it. But I doubt it. But he was fantastic as Jeremy, and he and Astrid's back and forth, the chemistry there was very strong, which made the ride that Tim Burton took us on that much more entertaining and that much more fun to enjoy. Now, we discussed the real effects, got to a lot of great stuff. The sandworms came back. That was awesome. We always listen, the sandworm is such an iconic part of the first Beetlejuice that I'm glad that it was really given its flowers in Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. You got to give the fans what they want, right? I mean, you want to be artistic and everything, and Beetlejuice Beetlejuice absolutely is. But you also got to give the fans what they want a little bit. That's part of the game, baby. That's part of the deal. So, awesome sandworm stuff. And I'll end it with this. The one who stole the movie, Bob. Bob with the shrunken head pulled all the emotional heartstrings of everyone without muttering a word. I even got the little Bob cup that they sell at the theater. I had to do it. Fill it up with high C because I'm a child. Let's go. I did. This is a true story. So the Bob Cup, Bob steals the movie. The Shrunken Head Bob, which, if you remember from the first one, at the very end of the first Beetlejuice, it ends with Shrunken Head and then Beetlejuice, Shrunken Head, and all that. To bring back Bob and make the Shrunken Heads such a big part of the second one, it made me very, very happy. And it stole the movie. I mean, like I said, I saw it at the Chinese Theater, which was obviously packed for the first night. You know, they have one showing in that iconic theater for the night, and it was loaded up. Everybody had a blast. The energy in that theater was awesome because we were shown an awesome film. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, out in theaters now. Go and see it. I promise you will not be disappointed, especially if you are a fan of the first movie. I'm Mike Bassano. This has been Dumb Guy Loves Movies, and thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with me.